Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It is with great honor that I humbly stand before my teachers, colleagues, family, and supporters of Zaytuna College as a student speaker at this commencement ceremony. And what better way to commence than with the inimitable words of our Lord, who states in the beginning chapter of the Quran, the opening, "Show us a straight path, the path of those you have favored, not of those who are objects of anger, nor of those who wander astray." Before I speak about the 4 years of study that my classmates and I experienced, I must mention something which started long before my freshman year at Zaytuna. It started with a prayer, engraved in my heart and oft repeated on my tongue. Rabbi hidini sawa as-sabil. My Lord, please guide me toward the right way. Each time I felt I was headed the right way, I found the door closed. I felt helpless, lost, and constantly praying for guidance. Soon enough, my prayers were answered, and Zaytuna College opened its gate. As I approached, I found others waiting with anxious anticipation. When they were asked, "Why Zaytuna?" their answers reflected my own. It's almost as if God brought me here, or this was the answer to my dua, and finally, I'm not sure, but I'm trusting God's plan for me. And so, with a firm resolve and shaky steps, and with our trust in God, we began our Zaytuna journey. Right away, we noticed how generous our provisions were. We had shelter in the dormitory, meals when we were hungry, time for study in and out of classrooms, and rest when needed. Every step on our path was made possible through the prayers of our well-wishers and our donors who believe in Zaytuna's mission. Ultimately, all generosity stems from God, the most generous, who, with his infinite mercy, granted us your support, and for that, we are eternally grateful. On this journey, we were blessed with amazing teachers and mentors who walked ahead of us, guiding us through the rigorous road, helping us avoid the pitfalls of sophistry and the traps of metaphysical highwaymen who might rob us of our spiritual sight, veiling us from the primordial truths that exist within us. From our teachers, we understood that these primordial truths are our weapons that must be sharpened so we may defend ourselves down this path. They helped us acquire the tools of learning, of grammar, logic, and rhetoric, which enabled us to discern what's real and what's not, and they introduced us to the rich tradition of creedal theology, jurisprudence, and the principles of Islam, which fortified us so we might serve as intellectual warriors. We learned to contemplate the world with wonder, and we learned that knowledge begins with much effort and with knowing oneself. Our studies were both rigorous and invigorating, and before we knew it, its 4 years have passed, and we are here now. Throughout this journey, we were challenged intellectually, spiritually, and personally. All the while, we kept our eyes on the signs, pointing us to our telos, our ultimate purpose. Here, I'm reminded of the words of British author and philologist J.R.R. Tolkien, who says, "Still round the corner there may wait a new road or a secret gate. And though I oft have passed them by, a day will come at last when I shall take the hidden paths that run west of the moon, east of the sun." At Zaytuna, we have acquired knowledge from both the Eastern tradition and the Western tradition, granting us 2 lamps to light our journey on the straight path mentioned in the first chapter of the Quran. In our time here, we have been gifted sharpened minds and gleaming shields, enabling us to stand at any gate with strength, confidence, and humility. To my underclassmen, I urge you to continue to sharpen your minds and your shields and be cognizant of God in every intention and step that you take. And to my cohort members, I remind myself and all of you that our life of learning has only just commenced, and that we ought to use the tools we've acquired here, and may we hold on to the tools of the Spirit, God consciousness, pure intentions, and sincerity. We have shared the road these past 4 years, but must find our own paths now. Although ultimately, may they all lead us to the straight path. May all that we have learned on this journey serve us to defend the truth and help others to enjoin good and forbid evil. So let us enter now our own paths undaunted, knowing that we carry with us the lights of the western moon and the eastern sun, both of which reflect the ultimate nur, the Quran. May we all be among those that God tells us in his book. Then Allah, by his leave, guided those who believed to the truth of that wherein they differed, and Allah guides whom he wills to the straight path. And with this prayer, God willing, let us now commence our life of learning and of service. Ma tawfiq illa billah. Wassalamu alaikum.